Hey guys, and welcome back to the World War II Solitaire board game channel. We are still playing Utmost Savagery, Peleliu, and we're now into the second intensity step. So we have activated our, I think we're in our third turn, and we need to activate our regiment. So we need to bring one of these out. And remember, you mix the current step of intensity with the previous ones, so each step will get a little bit longer. So we draw one now for our Colonel Harris, and it's supply. So supply is really cool because that gives us the opportunity to gain back some morale. You will roll two six-sided die, and then you can spend these points in different ways. 1 point you can spend to increase the morale by 1 for a maximum of 3. You can spend 1 point to bring a commander back from the out of battle box. You can spend 1 point to flip a reduced battalion to its full side, or you can spend 2 points to bring a battalion back from the out of action box to his full strength. So when you roll these two, you will not get both of their value. The number on the chosen die is the amount of supply points that you get. So let's hope for a high roll on one of these. Yeah, 2 5s. Wow, that is really lucky. So you can get really unlucky if you roll like 2 1s. So 1 2 3. So we have spent 3 of our 5 points. And remember, when you increase morale, it's a maximum of 3. So we have 2 points remaining. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase this by 1 and this by 1. And that's all of our points spent. If I had 2 more points, I would be able to get this battalion back. Okay, so we're in this area, in the jungle area, attacking a fanatic defense. As we bring our commander, we also get to choose if we want to put a fire marker or a barrage marker on it. We put a fire marker, decreasing his combat value by 1. His combat value is 6, which turns into 5 because of the fire. And our combined combat value is 10. So we have a higher combat value, meaning we get to roll 3 dice, but we still need to roll 6 in able to take him out without taking any damage. If we roll a 5, we will take 1 damage. Even though we will win, it will be a bloody victory. So let's hope for a 6, but at least a 5. I will be happy with a 5. And we're all 6. Wow. I'm actually really lucky this we gain a morale in this game. He has a combat value of 6, and he's a jungle. So we remove, see here, he was a fanatic defense. So there's 2 fanatic defense remaining in the jungles. This pen is not very good. I can barely see it myself. I doubt that you can see it. By the way, you can find this document on Boardgame Geek. I've uploaded it there to hopefully help other people out that are trying to conquer the island of Peleliu. And that, my friends, is the end of, I believe, what was the 3rd turn. So we now check out what's next. It's not the end of the turn, actually. It's the end of combat. We have our reposition segment. We can move up to 2 areas, which I will do. I will move these guys like this. And these guys will remain together. Actually, I'll move the commander, or one of the... Yeah, I'll move the commander back here. Remember, you don't want to be standing in an airfield next to a fortified area or a mountain area. Or maybe I'll keep the commander with these guys. See, how many in the jungle, how many... We have 1 night ambush, and we have 2 sniper nests. Actually, 3 sniper nests. Oh, that's not going to be a good time. Okay, so anyway, that's where I'm going to stand. And then we have consolidate, but we have no damage divisions to consolidate. And then we have the burnout segment. However, the fire here now is at max. It's at 3, so we can't add any fire. And then we have the turn of the tide, so it turns into a moon. I could actually... Feels like my only option right now is to attack the Fanatic defense, because if I go ahead and attack the jungles or the mountains or fortified, there's such a high chance that I will get either a sniper or a knight's ambush, and basically I'm gonna take big hits to morale, and I'm not that far away from the weakened position. If I attack here, I'm gonna have to bring the commander, because his combat value is 7, so the only way I can defeat him is by rolling a 6 and getting some fire. So I will choose Colonel Puller and activate, and bring 1 intensity chit marker, hope for a Corsair, because then I can put some additional fire. I get naval bombardment, so that's a bit of a shame, because I'm not next to him, so it's not really something I can use. So I'll put it over here. They are next to an American unit. So now we get to move. I will take 2 divisions, 2 battalions, I mean, and bring them, and the armor goes together with this guy. Okay, so I don't have to reveal him, so I don't have to lose 1 morale. That's a good thing. I will put fire on him, and now his combat value is 6. My combat value is 10, so my combat value is still higher. I get to roll 3 dice. It could be 2 or 1 if I was equal to or lower than his combat value. But again, I have to roll a 6, so the only, the best outcome is going to be a bloody battle or a bloody victory. If I roll a 6, it's a bloody victory. If I roll anything lower, it's a Japanese victory. Oh, can't believe it. Okay, so this guy is gone, and however, with a Japanese or a bloody American victory, you cannot gain morale even if you roll a 6. So that is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's Peleliu. So we lose 1 morale because we have to take 1 hit to one of our battalions, but we have rooted out the Fanatic defense out of that fortified position. So fortified position, we have taken out one of the strongest units. There is 1 coordinated fire left with 7 in its combat value. Wait until we get to the mountains. There's going to be units with 8 in combat value. So I am contemplating whatever I should attack this one. It has a lot of fires. It has artillery barrage marker, which I will lose otherwise. However, we have 3 sniper nests left. We have 1 night ambush and 2 Fanatic defense. So I would say it's about a 50-50% chance, and I think that's too high. So I am gonna go ahead and wait it out. I'm not gonna activate any more of my units. So you go ahead and just do this with them. Turn the commander side, and then you have repositioning. And do I want to reposition any of them? Let's see, let's move like that. I think I'll stay and consolidate. There's nothing to... Okay, maybe actually I should move the armor in like this, and the weakened division over here, or the weakened battalion. And burn out Turn of the Tide. Okay, so we have Turn of the Tide again, and it goes from moon to sun, so we lose 1 morale. Remember the weather, it was an incredible heat on Peleliu and all of the diseases, so basically that morale loss for every sun tide is because of the exhausting heat. Okay, so we're on the sun now, so I'm feeling a little bit more confident. So we're gonna go ahead and attack, and I realized I made 1 mistake in the previous turn. I I should have moved like this. So I will do that now. And you could argue that it's cheating, but it's a solo game. So I just went back in time and fixed my silly mistake. And I shall activate, let's see here, this battalion first. So Colonel Puller activates, and I gain 1 intensity chit, and this time it's supply again. So we roll 2d6, hope for a high number on one of them. Look at that, it's a 1 and a 1. I buy 1 morale, and I curse the gods of Peleliu Island. And I will move now to attack, and we will attack into this area. And remember, there can never be more than 3 fires. So I will bring, or actually, how many snipers did we have in jungle? We have 3 snipers. Okay, so I'll let my commander remain. So we decrease our morale by 1. And we have a sniper's nest. Wow, I'm lucky that I didn't bring the commander. The sniper nest turns into a night ambush, but remember, night ambush have no effects during the day. So his combat value is 4, my combat value is 11, so I get to roll 3d6. Oh, are you kidding? That's 5 ones in a row. Okay, that's a Japanese victory, definitely. I need to roll. Actually, it's actually a bloody victory, because his combat value is 1 with the minus. Let's remove this barrage, I forgot to do it. It's actually 1, so it's actually a victory, but you know, I can't roll worse than a 1, so I'm gonna reroll all of them. And I got a 4, a 3, and a 2, so it's a victory, but it doesn't feel like it, because I really would have liked to roll a 6 to gain 1 more morale. That's a jungle with a sniper's nest with a value of 4, so we have 2 more sniper nests remaining. Remove the fires since all of the Japanese forces are gone, and with our armor we move ahead into the next area. Decrease our morale by 1 and reveal the Japanese unit. It's a coordinated fire. Ooh, that's bad. That means we lose 1, we take 1 hit, and that means we lose 1 morale. We're down to 18 now. Combat value is 6 minus 3, so it turns into 3. Our combat value is 8, so we need to roll 4 or higher to not take an additional hit. And we roll 2 6s and a 1. That's a good deal. We gain 1 morale and remove the coordinated fire. So jungle units, coordinated fire with combat value of 6. Mark that up on our little cheat note. And that's going to be the end for this company, because let's remove the fire. I could attack with these battalions into the mountains, but it's too early for that. I would just take a beating and I would run out of morale. The question is where I should go now. I will activate these guys and try to push into the jungle. Okay, so let's start with Colonel Harris. And we draw an intensity chit. Man, why? It's kind of moist in here because I'm standing in the forest, so they stick together. Okay, we got a Corsair. So the question now is, because I get to put the fire, do I want to put it in this one or one of these where it can grow? Okay, so I'll put it in one of these where they will increase. It feels like a more valid tactic. We have 2 snipers remaining in the jungles, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. So it is worth the risk, I think, to bring the commander, as the commander will get to put 1 fire. So we lose 1 morale, and it's a coordinated fire. So again, we have to take 1 hit. Let's see here. And we'll choose this one. And that also means we lose 1 morale. So our combat value is 7. His combat value is 5 minus 1. So we have a higher combat value. We get to roll 3 dice. We need to roll 5 or higher not to take an additional hit. And we actually rolled 6, 4, and 5. So even though we had some crappy 1 rolls, some snake eyes, we still get 1 morale now with the 6. And we remove the 5 coordinated fire. Mark him up. And let's see, we have additional troops here, but I don't feel like that's something that I want to bring to the battle. So we will go ahead and activate the next one, which is the colonel with the name which I can't pronounce. Draw a time chit. And this time it's support. So I think we're gonna bring in, thinking of bringing in a flamethrower this time. That's pretty useful. And the stacking limit of the jungle is 3, so we can still bring him into the jungle and fight. So that's what we're gonna do. And I think I'm gonna leave the commander actually, because there is a chance it could be a sniper, and I still get to put 1 fire with our pioneer. So the pioneer can only be used once, even if it's combined with armor support. That's something to keep in mind. We decrease our okay, this is a tough nut because we have to decrease our morale by 1. And if this is, it could be a fanatic defense, it could be a sniper's nest. Let's just do it. But we are taking a risk here, because if it decreases by 1, if we lose this battle, we will lose 1 more morale. Then next turn we will take a break, but as the sun, moon goes to the sun again, we lose 1 additional morale, and we will be down to the shaken side, where we can't use any of our you know, rerolls. There is 2 fanatic defense left as well, so that's a problem, because we have taken down 2 coordinated fires, and the fanatic defense forces us to take a hit. So this could possibly make us go through shaken side. But again, I'm starting to feel like, yeah, we're almost at the 2nd here, or at the 3rd. So we kind of have to get a move on, because we have all of these fortified places left, and we have the mountains left. So, you know, let's do it. We have decreased our morale, and it's a night ambush. Wow, that's lucky. The night ambush, remember, has no effect during the day. So his combat value is 4. Our combined combat value is, the pioneer is 3, so it's 5, 5, 3, so that's 13. His combat value is 4 minus 1 because of the fire. So we have now a combat value 3 on him. I don't know if you can hear this raining, but it's kind of loud in the RV when it's raining, because it's one of these, not one of these plastic cars, it's one of these, you know, metal cars. I guess that's not super good English, but it is what it is. The best you will get from me. So it's not one of these plastic cars, so the rain is kind of noisy, but it's also kind of cozy. So his combat value is 3. We get to roll 3 dice. We need to roll a 4 or higher now, not to take a hit to our morale. Hopefully we roll a 6. We actually really need it. Wow! Thank you, dice gods. We roll a 6. Night ambush is taken out, and we remove the fire as well. And we make sure to note the night ambush here. That's the only night ambush of the jungle, so that means we can effectively fight during the night now, even in the jungle, without having to risk any of those night ambushes. However, remember, we do have actually 3 snipers remaining, or I think 2, if I can. It seems 2 actually. And if there's no commander with you, the sniper nest turns into a night ambush. So that's not so good. Okay, we have activated all of our commanders, so we go now to the reposition segment. And let's see how I want to reposition. I'll leave the commander over here because I don't want to be in an airfield next to a mountain. And let's see here how I should move up. These guys will move down here. This guy will move into that area. And this one will move to the commander. These guys move 2 up there together with him. And this one is actually not the same, so you can't stay, because you can't mix different regiments with different regiments. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and consolidate. So these 2 damaged battalions will turn into 1, and we put one of the damaged one or weakened ones into the out of action. And that's gonna be it. And then we have our burnout segment, so we get to add 1 fire to a jungle area. And then we have the turn of the tide, so it now goes to moon side. So I don't feel like I want to activate any of my commanders now. We only have 2 morale points remaining before we go to the shaken side. And we have drawn all of the supply for this turn because there's only 2 of them in the second one. So we're out of extra supplies. So I think I want to put a break on losing morale and stuff. So basically I don't do anything. That will also help us because the fire will grow. We could, if we wanted to, move some of our troops now in the called what's it called, reposition segment. So you could argue that I shouldn't be able to do it because I have not activated this battalion, and it's not really covered by the rules because in the first game you kind of had to activate each and every commander, but with the new rules it specifically says, I even have it printed out here, you do not have to activate every regiment at the end of the turn. Any units not activated should be automatically flipped, and that is basically to save on these time chits that you will run out of if you activate them every turn, you know. So you could argue that I wouldn't be able to move a unit if it's not activated, but it's not covered in the rules, so I make my own interpretation, and the game is hard enough, so I'm okay with giving me you know, a little bit of advantage. Okay, so it's the end, so you will automatically flip each commander that hasn't been used. And then you flip the intensity marker and it goes to the sun side, so we lose 1 morale. Okay, so we can only lose 1 more morale, so this is really getting dodgy. Once you know you're back to the shaken side, you don't have to be as careful, obviously, because you know there's not much to lose, but you know things can still go down. Okay, I'm gonna start by activating Colonel, whose name is hard to pronounce, and we draw a time chit, and it's naval support, so we put the naval support, the barrage, over here, and I will move in to that area. We also have a pioneer, so we put fire, and we reduce our morale by 1, and it's a night sniper's nest, which turns into a night ambush because there's no commander. However, it's the day, so we don't lose 1 morale, so that's really lucky. I don't know why I removed him because we still have to combat him. So his combat value is 5, which turns into 4 because of our fire. Our combat value is 13. So we still get to roll 3 dice and put 1 additional die because of our artillery barrage. So let's roll and hope for a 6 now. A 4, a 4, a 2, and a 2. That's not really good. It's a bloody victory if we keep them all. So I will take a chance here and re-roll and hope for a 5 or a 6. And there we go, we get a 6. We increase our morale by 1. And we remove that sniper. So you can see that with the gung-ho, we're also able to gain a lot of morale. And that's why you should be careful about losing it. So sniper's nest with a value 5. We have 1 more sniper in the jungle. But then it's, yeah, 1 more coordinated fire. And a lot of other bad stuff. So the question is really, do I want to keep going? These guys are not grouped with armor, so they can't keep going. So then I would have to activate another regiment. These guys can't even reach that far, but I could activate them just to get them moving. So that's what I'm gonna do. Colonel Puller activates, and he draws a Corsair. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a fire over here. And we move over here to the airfield. And the question is if I want to activate this unit, but I believe, well, he's actually already been activated because it's this one. So the question is, let's see here. I forgot obviously to move him, so he will be moving over there. And I think I'll skip activating this because this one can only engage the fortified positions and it's gonna bring my morale down. So I skip activating him. So let's see, I'll just flip his side in, and then we go to the reposition segment. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring that commander into the group. And these guys are going here. Remember, the jungle has a stacking limit of 3, but commanders don't count. And then we have consolidate, but I have no 2 damaged battalions to consolidate. So we have the burnout segment. We add fire to a maximum of 3, and then turn of the tide. So we go to the moon side, and we have a new phase. And let's see, in these areas, the 3 jungles, there's actually 4 with this. We have 2 fanatic defense left and 2 sniper nests. No, actually 2 fanatic defense, 1 coordinated fire, and 1 sniper nest. So all of those places are guaranteed to make us lose morale. So I'm actually not going to act on any of them. And I could, because actually what I need now is these supply markers. So I could effectively activate now just to get some support. So that's what I'm going to do. So I activate Colonel Harris. And I gain a naval support. And that lets me put artillery. And I'm just, for the heck of it, I'm going to put one here even though I'm not going to attack. And that is the end of the 2nd intensity. So we go now to the 3rd intensity. And that also marks the end of this video. And you remember the deal, guys. You mix these up with the new ones, and then you have your new intensity markers for your next adventure. I hope you join me for my next adventure. I have been actually quite lucky with the morale. I've been gaining a lot of morale. I've been winning my battles. But I am also feeling like maybe I'm playing a little bit too calm. But in preparation of these mountain positions and the fortified areas, you have to be careful because it's going to go downhill fast. And once you get to the weakened side and don't get to reroll your dice, you're in for a tough battle. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this battle. I hope you join me for the next battle, 3 out of 4. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And give me a comment. How did you think of my tactics and the video in general? I always enjoy reading your comments. Okay, guys, I will see you next time.